What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of High Above Courtside following the Celtics Game 1, 103-86 victory over the Orlando Magic. I'm Anthony, and that's Steve. Steve, what do we got for take on this one?
Well, 15 more W's.
15
It takes
to go, buddy. That's
go
it.
back to back, hoist 19. What do I have? Overall macro look at this. The Magic have no chance. They are playing right into our hands. Yet, though they are an amazing defensive team, they make it tough on our stars and everyone else. They just can't score, and we're funneling into certain areas of the court where it's not sustainable throughout this series. A lot of their shots are mid-range, and if Paolo's going to go crazy from the mid-range, more power to you. He played unreal. He's
great.
a real deal. He's going to be on watch coming forward for the next couple of years. Suggs would be a huge difference maker in this game, to be honest. That's what we're really missing is a guard they need. And they need some more shooters. They shot terribly. It's not even that they shot terribly. It's just they don't have enough to get up,
right.
I guess, is what it comes down to.
They
shot 37%, but they made 10. And 10's not gonna be enough.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Magic. This was exactly the game I kind of envisioned. I don't think any game is going to be a 20-point lead for either side in the first half. I think a lot of these games are going to be close. The Magic are tough, man. They're big. They're physical. Paolo and Franz can score. They can play. They just, like you said, don't have anything else other than those two guys. I mean, KCP, who's the big off-season acquisition, 6 points on 2 for 4, 2 for 5, 2 for 4 from 3. There's just, Corey Joseph playing 26 minutes and giving you 0 points on one shot. Like, that's just, it's not going to cut it against a team like the Celtics. But overall, I mean, they're awesome defensively. They forced the Celtics into a lot of weird offensive possessions, especially in the first half, where it felt like they were forcing the Celtics to kind of go at their better defenders, and it was working out for Orlando for a while.
For sure, you just can't have 27 shots from Paolo, 24 shots from Franz, 5 shots from Caldwell Pope, Isaac with the third leading scorer with 7 points with 4 shots. I mean, Wendell Carter Jr. is even out there, and besides the rebounds, I just don't see like how they're gonna grab a lot of offensive production from the other guys. They tried to limit our threes, which was, somewhat effective, but we found different ways to get it in transition, as you saw, like Peyton Pritchard, Drew Holiday. So it's gonna be a rock fight. Is it best to 95 or best to 100? What do you think?
Yeah, straight up. Whoever hits 100 points wins, and I just don't know the thing. I mean, 36 on 14 of 27 from Paolo, 4 for 7 from 3, and some of those threes, man, there were some end of shot clock ones that were like just straight pull-ups that, like, he's a good player. The pull-up threes aren't scaring me. He's not going 4 for 7 from 3 every game. So, like, if you're getting those numbers from Paolo and you still only score 86 points and lose by 17, I just don't see, aside from the role players, like, somehow going crazy when, like we just said, they don't have good shooters that are role players. I mean, they don't have good shooters, period, but it's going to take a miracle for them to get over 100 points, it seems. Because you're probably not getting, as good as Paolo is, you're probably not getting 36 on over 50% shooting.
Yeah, like I said before, we funneled him great. Like, he was 2 for 3 in the restricted area, 2 for 8 in the paint non-restricted, mid-range 6 for 9, and 4 for 7. All of his stuff is where we want him to shoot. He was just on fire, and kudos to him. Hats off. We were just able to shut off the water with everyone else, just like we do with every other team that we face. You could get yours, but we're going to sit down on defense. We did a great job not overhelping on him. Obviously, again, like I said, he got his points, but you just got to eliminate everybody else because that's what it comes down to, and that's what teams try to do to us. As you saw, Tatum did not shoot the ball particularly well. Brown did all right, 6 for 14. Porzingis shot terribly. But between those 3 guys, you're able to have that down. We're so deep that we have got guys like Derrick White coming through.
Derrick, amazing.
Points. Peyton Pritchard, just an instant spark. Drew Holiday, my X factor coming into this series, just absolutely sat down on defense coming into the third quarter and really shifted the tide of this game. I just think this game is a great tune-up game for this entire playoffs, and also for OKC if we end up playing them in the finals.
I like that.
Good
I agree with
defense,
that.
long team, going to be getting on us. Sneaky though, not a lot of turnovers in this one, which I really like to see. How many? 9 turnovers, well below our regular season average, around like 12 or something like that. So able to take care of the ball and find specific shots that we wanted to get to help us propel to the win.
Yeah, so I agree totally. Drew's defensive intensity in the third quarter flipped the game big time. I mean, this is just what he does in the playoffs for the Celtics, at least. But it was, you could tell, right? The first 10 seconds of the second half, he was up in their airspace. Point of attack was, he was not letting Franz, Paolo, giving them anything easy at the top of the key, which in the first half, it felt like they could kind of walk into some of those
They're bullying
easy
us.
twos. And, they were hitting some, they were getting offensive rebounds. But Drew's intensity, the way he ratcheted that up, it fed through everybody. And then, you saw Tatum hitting the glass hard. The defensive rebounds in the second half. It was a clear switch they could flip where they were down 1 at the half, but it didn't feel like it just always felt like, okay, if they just ratchet up the intensity a little bit, the Magic just don't have enough shot makers to score 100 points against them.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, Drew Holiday. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, Drew Holiday, when guarding Paolo, 0 points, 0 for 4, 1 turnover. Everyone else guarding Paolo, 36 points, 14 for 23, 3 turnovers. Drew Holiday holding Magic plays to only 5 points when he's defending them.
He's unbelievable.
Specifically against Franz, 2 for 10, 2 points, 1 for 3 from 3, 2 turnovers. He's an absolute straitjacket out there. It just shows you that there's multiple levels for Drew to get to, and he's been coasting and just really preserving his body. Even though he has that mallet finger, he's looking really good so far in game 1.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable that we have 2 guards that can defend the way these guys do, and I can think back to Derrick stuffing Paolo at the rim on one of those possessions late in the third quarter, and it's like, what team had? I mean, is it the best defensive backcourt in Celtics history? It's got to be.
Yeah, someone was saying maybe the 2 Joneses back there in the early part of the Celtics team tenure. Maybe.
But I mean, 2
Dennis
point
Johnson,
guards.
yeah.
2 point guards that can stone a 6'9", 250-pound power forward.
Yeah, you can't.
It's just
Can't find anybody like that.
Embarrassment of riches. It's stupid, and it's just amazing that we have that. And
yeah, it's great. Yeah. We're kind of pussyfooting around it, but let's get to the play of the game. Pretty much, D White.
D White, his quick trigger from 3. I mean, it was right off the jump yesterday. But when he's just ready to come up those screens and let it fly, when he shoots without thinking, especially, it feels like it's always going in.
That's why his late shot clocks. Yeah, I'm always like, it's going in. It's going. He's just letting it go.
Grenade, just throw him grenades, and he'll make those. That's good offense for us. But I mean, it was imperative early in that game because we didn't seem like we could get much. The Magic were switching everything. They're going to take away Tatum. They're going to try to take away Brown. They were getting up into Porzingis, who we'll get to was awful. But Derrick's so comfortable getting those threes off in a variety of ways. Coming off a pin down, catching a grenade late shot clock, hitting a pull up, playing off of Tatum, and Tatum trusts too. He just spaces to that corner and gets those threes off, and it's I mean, I think they're 3 or 4-0 now when Derrick scores 30 points in playoff games for the Celtics. So he hits 30. I mean, and it's obvious when you think about it. If Derrick White's getting you 30 on efficient shooting, most games you're not getting 8 for 22 for Tatum and 6 for 14 from Jalen. 33 points combined. So if you're getting 30 from Derrick, most of the time you're getting more from the other big 2, and you're not going to beat this team, especially if you're the Orlando Magic. Sorry to the Magic, but
sorry, our boy's giving you 30 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 55.6 from the field, 7 for 12 from three, perfect from the line. You know I love that. Only 2 turnovers, 77.6% true shooting is just ungodly. I love to see it. It's amazing. I'm so happy his joy is back. He's a playoff demon, and it's just great to have him on our side. I love him so much. He's Boston's adopted son through and through.
He is. Let's get into the Tatum Porzingis games. Tatum, I don't know how much I want to go down this road again because I mistakenly turned on Boston Sports Radio. Actually, I saw it at the gym a little bit today, and it's like obvious what they're talking about, that Tatum's not playing like a superstar and all this stuff.
Oh my God.
And whatever, he's 8 for 22. He shot the ball terribly. That is, there's 2 things can be true at the same time. You, in fact, can be inefficient shooting the ball and still be the most effective player on the court at any given time for your team. And what confuses people about that is that for most superstars, that's not the case. If they're not scoring efficiently, they're not as effective on the court. And it's just the opposite for Tatum. And that's why Tatum is in that category, which is and I get it's the radio thing and you have to make a narrative and these guys were going on about how he how can they win if he's not their best player? It's just banana land takes that.
What do you mean? We just
won
a chip.
Right. And but he wasn't the best player last year, is what people will say, which is just completely banana land. And just we can do a whole pod on that separately. But like yesterday was just prototypical. He was highest plus minus. I mean, the first half it was only a game because of the offensive rebounding for Orlando.
Yeah.
And Tatum goes out there. I don't know how many he had in the second half, but he's got 14 boards. The next highest rebounds for anyone on your team is 5 for Drew, 5 for Al. That's it. He's your best rebounder in a game where the only way, in a series, mind you, the only way you can lose a series is getting absolutely annihilated on the glass.
Yeah.
And so he's going to do what needs to be done. And for me, that game is a superstar game. Like, shots not going. Are you still helping your team win? And he was doing that tenfold yesterday. So,
just to answer your question, second half, 9 rebounds. Absolutely,
9
every single one of them.
Right, where clearly, and he said it after the game. It was we had to get on the glass. It was like he knew the assignment, and it's all you got to say about the guy. It's like he's gonna give you do whatever needs to be done to win any given playoff game. And
yeah, as you mentioned, that's the problem with box score watching. It's ruined basketball discourse. Let's give you some advanced stats for Tatum here. On the court, 40 minutes. He was a plus 23. Net rating is 29. Offensive rating 120.5. Defensive rating 91.5. Offensive possessions 73. He was off the court for 8 minutes, 750. -6 plus minus. The net rating was -34.6. Offensive rating was when he was off the court. When he was the offensive rating was 115.4. Defensive rating 150. Offensive possessions 13. That just tells you so much more context than just looking at his box score and be like, oh, he had 17 points. He shot 36.4%. There's so much more to that. And that's why I'm not too worried about it. We've already seen him playing in this style, C-plus game, 17 points, 14 rebounds, still pretty freaking good. And we want a chip going that style. So I'm completely fine. Obviously, I want him to shoot a lot better because I have narratives to push there.
And he will. It's just I read something I forget who it was, but this is an original comparison. But someone I read yesterday on Blue Sky that said Tatum gets treated like he's a 6-foot score first point guard. That when he's actually a power forward, and if you analyzed him as a power forward, the way you analyze his game would be like he doesn't need to be super efficient like a Jalen Brunson or one of these 5. An Isaiah Thomas, a Kyrie. It's like he does so much more on the court that an inefficient offensive night does not make him an ineffective player, which is just it doesn't work for the Dames of the world. If you're 6 feet tall and you go 8 for 22. You're getting cooked on defense. You're not rebounding. You're almost a negative on the court sometimes. So it's just he's got people's brains, and he always has, in a complete pretzel. And He drives narrative, so people got to do what they got to do, I guess.
I mean, everyone's going to say he's backpacked. He's an Al Horford merchant. Maybe all of us are as Celtics
Yeah,
fans.
right.
Maybe he's a Derrick White merchant, whatever. But let's not forget, he shot, let's see, 36.4% in here. He was 1 for 8 from 3. Let's go to maybe the MVP winner, who was 15
Right.
points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists for Shea.
In a 50-point win.
In a 50-point, he shot 30%. He shot
Right.
1 for 7 from 3. He was worse than Tatum, and his team
Right.
blew out their
Another
opposition.
guy, Anthony Edwards. I don't know what
Yeah,
his final numbers were, but he didn't have an Edwards 36 like gonna dominate the game. He did what had to be done, and that was draw attention to himself, get it to open shooters, and the Wolves, win big in a game one. It's not always going to be, if you're a team and you're a superstar on a team and you have to get 35 efficiently every night to win the championship, more than likely it's not going to happen because it's going to be hard to do, especially against really good defenses like the Orlando Magic, who, you kind of need to draw the attention or when you have off nights, you need other guys. Those are the championship teams. So, I don't see the narrative that some people see, but Tatum.
I mean, Edwards shot 36%.
Yeah, want him to shoot better. He will shoot better. He was still probably the best player on the court any given time for the Celtics yesterday, which is reflected in his plus-minus numbers. Let's pivot to Kristaps, who I do have an issue with how he played yesterday, and I think he'll be better, but he played like it was a regular season game, I feel like, yesterday.
Yeah.
Like he was not ready for the physicality of the Magic, and the Magic are a bad matchup for him. They have too many big, strong, physical dudes, well-coached team. It's not a Porzingis series, but that scares me when you're going to get to a Cleveland or a OKC or any team out of the West, really, a Minnesota or whatever it is. He has to play with force, and he didn't at all yesterday. He got bullied off the spot. He still had a couple nice defensive plays, but it was just poor game one for Kristaps.
So let's not speak out of both sides on Mose there. He was a second in team high and plus 17. So he did impact the game. Well, he
was good defensively.
Terribly.
He was good defensively.
He shot terribly. The only thing I have, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I don't think it's going to be an issue for other series because what the Magic give you for looks on defense is the switching, and that pick and pop isn't going to be there. They're so quick at hedging, peeling off screens, coming right back on you. So that behind the back pass that Tatum does after he's driving, it's not there. So he only had 2 3-point shots over the whole time. You can't do that. I need 5 from you minimum.
Yeah, he had 2 turnovers.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He brought the ball down a little bit too much.
And yes.
He did have it. I don't mind him going at Wendell Carter or Franz on some of these mismatches, when they get him inside. But he brings the ball down too much. He's looking for those regular season fouls, and it's like, dude, you're 7'3", catch it and turn around and shoot it. And I know that's not really his thing, but he has to work that into his game if he wants to be effective, especially in a finals against an OKC type of opponent. You bring that ball down. They're coming for it. Those guys, good defensive teams, are getting you on that. So
you can't go 0 for 5 in the paint, my guy.
No, you're 7'3", and a lot of that is because he's hunting for a call and he's trying to draw a little bit of contact when he just needs to turn around, play with force, and score that thing.
Yeah, or dunk it, bro. You're 7'3".
Yeah. So I that's my biggest concern is and again, Porzingis is another one kind of like Tatum where. The Celtics are so good that you don't need 30 efficiently from Porzingis every game. You need Porzingis defensively for what he did yesterday, which is where I think he is reliable. He's an unbelievable rim protector. He's never going to be, a negative on defense really against any opponent. But can he get to his spots and not get bullied off of his spot where he's taking bad shots or just completely ineffective on the offensive end? He's got to be a little stronger on that end.
I completely agree with you. But I think there's a sliver of hope if he just, like you say, play with force. Once he plays with force, then you can see intentional moves. It's not just sitting there kind of pump fake, pump fake. I
Right.
kind of liked the long midi he took. It's the only one he really took.
Early in
It
the
was
game,
a
yeah.
clean look. It was nice. So maybe you could go to that if you don't think you could get to the
I
hoop
think a
with
little
the length and
continuity
strength.
of like he hasn't played many playoff games,
Yeah,
especially with this team. Like you got to kind of get, you got to kind of feel it and know how you fit in and how to deal with that physicality. Where he was so in and out of the lineup last year. And I mean, before that, when's the last time he was in the playoffs with the Mavs? Probably in 21 or something like that.
yeah,
And he was a completely
a
different
while.
player at that point of his career. So the way he plays now, he doesn't have that much. And I mean, Luke is not out there to pick on like in the finals. So it's like,
Yeah.
and I mean the other series he played where I think he had at least one or two good games against the Heat. It's like Tyler Herro's on the court and a bunch of other bums. So it's like this
Mhm.
Orlando team doesn't have any bums on defense.
But that's why I think it's a good tune-up for us because
Right.
no other defense is going to be better than this
Like
one besides OKC.
if you get the Knicks or the Pistons next round, there's matchups on both sides there that
Hmm.
Porzingis can be a menace for those teams off, on the defensive end and offensive end. So we'll see. We'll see how he responds. That's something to look forward to. What about the
For
Tatum
sure.
rest? We worried about the Tatum rest?
I'm not worried about it.
No,
X-ray
not
came
really.
back clean. I don't know what he's doing, flailing on the ground like he's been doing a couple times. That ankle injury he had, and now this. I think he's trying to get those flagrant calls. I don't know if he's trying to sell it or what. It probably
Probably.
hurt a lot. I'm not trying to shit
Yeah,
on him
he definitely
whatsoever.
hurt.
But I don't think it's an issue. He made a three. He 0 for 4 from the free throw line. Just really sucks, dude. Like the two,
Yeah,
obviously, right after that,
I
he
think
said
his
his
wrist
wrist
was
was
probably
throbbing.
bothering him.
Yeah, that definitely affected it. But that's the difference between 21 and 17 points. It changes your true shooting percentage. Like I always say, I have averages to push over here, but I'm not too worried about it. The only other injury I'm a little concerned about is even though Jalen had that explosive dunk and he just didn't finish around the rim as
I
well as
thought
I think he normally does, but he was all right.
I thought Jalen looked good physically. I actually that was my big thing going into the game was this. How's he look? Does he look explosive? And I thought he looked explosive. Like he didn't look like he. Go watch that Knicks game. He did not look like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, he didn't look good in that one.
He
No.
absolutely did not look like he did in the Knicks games. I think which tells you it's probably a bone bruise, like they said, and he's got the pain
Yeah.
filling shot. And he's not playing through pain anymore. So he was he was inefficient too, but he was explosive, and that was a big thing for me. So I was glad to see that.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just take care of the ball too. Only one turnover. That's what you want to see, especially with such a handsy team like this. Tatum 0 turnovers, and
Right.
Brown with 1. That's key because they're main ball handlers.
Loved loved the way Peyton played. He,
Oh,
I
string
mean,
music.
we all know about the scoring and the 4 for 6 from three and instant offense, but he is so good defensively now. Like he's able to body up Palos and Franz and just big 7-footers and not win every time, but force enough bad shots that it's like he's okay to switch on those guys under 10 seconds in the shot clock. Where
Yeah,
like a year ago, 2 years ago, he wasn't at all. And that's even more than the offense. We've always known the shooting's there. Is that you can leave him on the court against these guys now. And I mean he was awesome. He was the reason we broke it open early in the first half. And he had a few big ones in the fourth quarter too.
yeah. I mean, being 2 for 2 in the restricted area, I really wish Porzingis would adopt his little shove he has to like create
Yeah.
some space and be able to go up strong. I just love his energy when he came in. He was no bullshit. He was coming for their throats, and I think that's how the team has to play overall. Jalen even said it in the mic'd up. Is like we need to pick up the intensity. We need to come. We need to be the first ones to punch, pretty much, right? And that's how
Right.
you have to play these guys, especially in playoffs when the fouls aren't being called. Peyton is the exact type of guy, and why I also think he's going to be sixth man of the year is because when we're stuck in the mud a little bit, he comes in and just jolts
There's
us
not
into our actual Celtics basketball. So he's
yeah.
he's so vital for us, and like you said, him being not a negative on defense and holding up helps us not shade over, create open looks on the three for the Magic. He's he's going to be a big factor coming into this entire playoffs.
Right. Plus 13 off the bench where I mean that's huge. It's huge minutes from him. Also I love that you only have to play like Al 25 minutes.
The minute
Jalen
distribution, I kind of want to talk about this.
Jalen 30 minutes, Drew 30. Jalen didn't even have to play the fourth quarter. It all
Yeah, it's
worked out
great.
great. Like for people who were sweating it out a little bit at halftime, it was like it just worked out so good. And it felt like 17. It just people, if you box score watching, you're like, oh, all right, like it wasn't a blowout. But 17 against that type of offense, that's like 1999 17-point lead, which is
Yeah,
essentially
that's a
a
serious
35-point lead nowadays. Like if you're
Yeah,
up
like
15, it's serious. Like the Magic just cannot shoot. If you're up 15 on them, it's almost impossible for them to come back unless you don't score for like 6-7 minutes. And even then, they might just like go on a 15-0 run rather than a 25-0 run. Like it's just
yeah.
not gonna. 17 is just it's insurmountable for that offense.
17 in this style game is similar to if everybody's been watching Celtic City. Red would light up a cigar with like up 3 with
Yeah,
like 2 minutes left. He'd be like,
right.
game, God.
Yeah, that's 2 possessions. No
It's 2
chance.
possessions, no chance.
Right.
So I completely agree with you.
Like you're not
With
gonna blow the Magic out. You're not gonna be up 35 on the Magic. But 15 is 25 against any other roster against Orlando with the way they score.
So what's the path for Orlando? Get up threes. You got to get in transition more. They have to.
I
It
don't
has to be
know.
like 103-95 or something like that for them.
Yeah,
For
they
them to
have
win.
to shoot more. They definitely have to shoot more than 27 threes, which the Celtics. It's just so hard against the Celtics because they're not allowing those. They're allowing you to take those floaters like those Franz foul line floaters and stuff. It's like it's easy to say get up more threes, but like they're not going to get up more threes because that's the Celtics' defensive game plan is to not allow it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like that's why I just don't see the path outside of the Celtics going 6 for 37 from 3 1 game and just abysmal shooting, which I that's why I always pick a gentleman sweep. You can always get one of those games. It's just not likely you're getting 4 of those games.
I mean,
They
every facet of the game we
they
crushed
can't
them.
turn the ball. They turned it over 15 times, which
Yeah.
like I guess offensive rebounds. If they had 5 turnovers, it's probably a closer game.
Yeah.
So I mean, Celtics don't force many turnovers, so
That's
that's
all
against
for us.
an area they can clean up, Orlando. But it just still feels like
I mean,
every
points in the
possession
paint,
is
32-28. Fast break points, 26-4. Second chance points, 17-11. Steals, 13-5. I mean, they really did crush them. It's just the offensive rebounds was the one, 13-9 in Orlando's favor. Blocks were even, assists we had more, rebounds we had more. It's just that's going to be the story for this entire series. So and the only thing is I want this done in a sweep because as you can see, super physical. They're not going to let you just go up to the rim and dunk it on you. They will, give you a hard foul. I did not have any problem with KCP's foul on Tatum.
I didn't think that was a flagrant, but
Yeah, I mean, he had the drag down, which I guess in today's NBA, but I don't see any problem with that. So the big thing is coming out of this healthy. So you got to get down in 4, and it'd be preferable if Jalen didn't have to pay fourth quarters or any of the big guys did. But it is a playoff series, so it's most likely not going to be that way.
Right. Anything else you want to touch on around the league or anything?
Around the league, the Lakers in trouble.
I think the Lakers are in big trouble. And actually, I'm glad you brought this up. I have some thoughts on this. The Lakers, the Lakers fans, I'm just so happy you get to experience Luka because as much as Luka gives you, he takes just as much away. Like he was watching that game Saturday, he was simultaneously the reason you were down 30, while also being the reason you might come back from down 30. He's just a hilarious player. Like it's frustrating because he's so fucking good on one end. And you think like, damn, this guy can hit 5 step backs in a row and we'll take the lead. Like, but he was the laziest player on the other end of the court for the Lakers. They went at him continuously. His pointing and crying to officials every possession led to transition threes for Minnesota. It led to just easy buckets, and it must be maddening as a fan of that player or to have that guy on your team where it's like, we need you to be on the court all the time, but we also like want you off the court a lot of the times too. Unbelievable.
I mean, Magic, sorry, I still have that on the Timberwolves. A little bit of magnet ball, 50%, 21 for 42 from 3, 44 for 86 for the field. I think though they could sustain that. They were getting great looks, why I think
they're a good 3-point shooting team.
Yeah. I mean,
So I mean,
Edwards is the
like they're
best
not.
3-point shooter in the league.
That's like, and it's like so those numbers. It's like, oh, well, are they get magnet ball? Like I guess a little bit, but they're one of the better 3-point shooting teams in the league.
Yeah, I mean, 6 for 9 from Reed is a little high. 3 for 3 from Daniels. 2 for 3 from Conley.
But go
Okay.
back and watch those 9. Like 5
Oh
of
no,
them,
yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
they were open corner
they all look
threes.
money.
Where
Yeah,
it's right. Like it wasn't like he was hitting tough like I said some of the Apollo threes where it was like Derrick White's closing out and he's hitting pull ups. Like Nas Reed alone in the corner is a good shot, and he's gonna make a lot of those.
yeah, he was on fire in the second quarter from 3. He was unreal.
Right, and
He's,
they're too big. LeBron was. I mean, I feel like LeBron was deferring to Luka a little bit too much. Whereas, like, I mean, Luka was great, obviously, but he just can bog you down and not get other guys involved. It feels like sometimes.
yeah, I mean, LeBron also. It's going to be a long series for these two teams, so he's going to fill his way through it. I don't really have too much concern for Braun. I got some concern for
No,
Reeves
I think
though
he should.
on
I
defensive
think he
end.
should take over more, LeBron. Like, I think
Yeah,
he
no,
needs
for
to
sure.
shoot more.
Hmm.
But yeah, Reeves is tough. I mean, he can't play against Timberwolves basically.
Yeah, he was. I mean, only one worse than him on a plus minus was Rui Hachimura minus 26. Reeves was a minus 25. So that's kind of tough for him. I don't know. I mean, that's the biggest deal. They'll give you plenty of offense.
Right.
You have areas to attack, and that's the whole deal with the NBA now. Look at the teams that are successful. Is you don't have a lot of negative mismatches where the teams could just hunt you and then you're screwed, and then you just really have to play 4-on-5 pretty much.
Right. In the Lakers' case, 3-on-5 a lot of the times. It's like it's brutal. I mean, like it's true. It's tough. And I mean, it's tough it'll be a little tough for LeBron to take over that series. As much as I want him to shoot more, but like the Wolves are huge. They still have Rudy. They got all these big bodies. It's not easy for LeBron and even Luka to get in the paint consistently against them. You got one of the best defensive players ever. So I don't know where it go. You still got 37 on 12 of 20 or something from Luka. Like what? Where do you go if you're the Lakers?
You just gotta hope your threes fall, man. That's really what
Right.
it comes down to. They put up 41, they only hit 15. I mean, 36.6 still fine, but you got to be able to generate more. The thing is, they're 33 for 83 from the field. Gross.
Yeah.
39.8%. You got to hit shots, man. And JJ's gonna, have to go to the drawing board and figure out who he wants to be attacking over there, because you can't be this bad on offense. 95 points with Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves on your team. Come on.
Right. You got to score it. You got to get over 100. But this is it. This is the playoffs, man. Teams are setting up their half court defense, and we saw it all year last year. The Celtics were all-time offensive team. Go back and watch those finals games. They were winning 107-95. Like they weren't scoring 130 in the finals. So this is what it is. And when you talk about it during the season, these Lakers type teams can be real good. But what's going to happen when you're playing a big, strong, physical team in the playoffs where they're setting up their half-court defense every time? And can you win 4 out of 7 times with no center? Playing a bunch of 6'7" guys.
Yeah, tough.
It's gonna be tough.
One last thing I want to get into: Bucks.
The Bucks. Ugh. Yeah, the Bucks. The Bucks are toast, I think. And Giannis.
I told you, Giannis thinks 36, 12, and 1, 60% from the field. He should never take a 3 ever, 0 for 2. But they don't have anybody else, and then they have fucking Kyle Kuzma out there giving them the OFA.
I mean, that's just, it's got to be for a guy like Chris Middleton, who is like, might get his jersey retired for that fucking team. And you trade him for Kyle Kuzma doing that. Like, that would have been like us trading Marcus Smart for, Tyus Jones or some bum. Like, at least we got Kristaps, who's a proven, commodity. You traded him for, like, why did you make that trade? Chris Middleton would have given you 3 for 5 and 10 points or something in that game. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, he's not even a good defender. What are you? He's on the top of my what exactly do you do here list of players.
Team high -24. So there you go. Kyle Kuzma played 22 minutes. Like 0 everywhere. 2 personal fouls.
And I mean,
Literally, his box score is impressive.
Dame coming back will help a little bit, but yeah, they're cooked. The Pacers are tough to play against. The Pacers are going to be tough for anybody. Cleveland, look out in the next round because the Pacers are for real.
Sure,
the Pacers now have they're the veteran playoff experience team now.
Yeah.
I mean, they ain't no joke. That team's hard to play against.
I mean, people underrate Nemhard, dude. He's got a strong base. He'll get into you. He's a lot stronger than what he looks like. Miles Turner stretches the floor. He was, 4 for 6 from 3. Siakam had a great game.
Yeah,
it was just well balanced.
Right. Siakam's the perfect second or third option for so many. He'd be the perfect for so many teams in the league. Like he can do everything. He can't be a number one guy, but if he's your second or third best player, you're good because he does everything well.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
and he's a proven playoff guy, champion, playoff performing. I mean, what can you say about him?
Anyone else you want to touch on?
I don't know. Not really, I guess. I think the Pistons were embarrassing against the Knicks in that fourth quarter, but I think they can win a few games that series. But the Pistons, like any other, they're just gonna have to figure it out on the fly.
You just can't waste a good Tobias Harris game, though.
No.
That's tough. If he's playing that good, you need some help over there. But it's what it is, man. We'll see how it keeps playing out. But I'm feeling real good for our Celtics, and we need Tatum to actually shoot the ball well. That could really just help my mental health going forward.
Right. We need it for the narrative, JT. Please help us out.
Come on.
Give us 12 for 20 in game 2 and 35 on 12 for 20. That's what we need.
Book it.
All right. We will be back probably after game 2 with another roundup. Talk to you guys.
All right, y'all. We'll see you. Deuces.